here at Open Road Richmond Hyundai, and also the Genesis dealer in Richmond. And this is a car I've been looking forward to for a while because it packs a lot of value in a beautiful, beautiful package. So we're going to take it out for the next week, and that's thanks to Open Road Richmond Hyundai. And I've got Brandon here with me, and Brandon, on behalf of Richmond Cares, Richmond Gives, and the team with the Not So Silent Night event, thank you so much for your generosity. We're looking forward to it.
Very thankful and grateful for going out for a drive with my favorite videographer and son, Daniel Vetter, and having the privilege of driving this Genesis G80 from Richmond Hyundai Genesis. I'm excited about this car because it packs a lot of value into this package. It's a luxury car, has every feature you could possibly imagine, and at a decent price point. And you know, all this gratitude brought me back a few years to the beginning of an interesting project that we started. Years ago, Wayne DeZita invited Brian Johnstone from Verico Riverside, who invited me and a bunch of other people into an idea, which is to help collect toys for the Richmond Christmas Fund. And we did that. We had a great time that year. We got a lot of people engaged in helping out with that. And we saw the seeds of generosity there. And that began the Dream Project. We got together then the next year and we thought, okay, what has to come next? Well, the big need for Christmas Fund, of course, is the one resource they can use the most, and that is cash, in order to help families have a dignified Christmas. And we're trying to help those people who are, you could say, the working poor, people who are having just a challenge right now, making ends meet. And we just want to help them have a joyful Christmas. And that's what the Richmond Christmas Fund has been doing ever since the 1930s. So we started collecting money. We started collecting checks from business owners and individuals in Richmond, and started meeting the most interesting people. You know, David Newman from Sinorama Richmond, who was really, really generous in helping us collect checks. Actually make the checks, make the cardboard checks for presentation purposes. And he's been so generous in many different ways. George Pitlick from AdWiz Marketing, who designed the website for the Dream Project. Cox and Elsie Tango from Clinical Sleep Solutions. They've been very generous contributors. Brett and Kim Kendrick, who are the former owners of Nurse Next Door in Richmond. And Sinfully the Best Fine Foods and Gifts, and Lisa Wong from Lauren Financial, Rosa Salcido from Vivid Green Architecture, CDI College, Tara Nishi and Associates, Brian Johnstone, of course, from Verico Riverside Mortgage, RHN CPAs, Girls Night Out event in Steveston, they helped out, and Richmond Chamber of Commerce Women's Circle, CBE Law, the Sun Life of Richmond, Mark and Sang CPAs, and WealthSmart, of course, and the list goes on. People have been very, very generous in the Richmond community. And it takes me back to a few years ago, the thing that kind of sparked it all in our hearts. And that was being at a Salmon Festival parade and seeing all the community groups go by, people making a difference in our community. It got us into a spirit of saying, you know, I think it's time we do something. And all it really took was some people to ask me, and then we in turn ask other people to get involved. So if there's one thing that I could challenge people to think about at especially this coming Christmas, and that is get involved, not just during Christmas, of course, throughout the year, but especially this Christmas. There's such a big need to help bring joy to families that might need it. So I'd encourage you to click on the donation button and make a donation to the Richmond Christmas Fund. It goes through the Chimp Foundation, which is our collection vehicle. You'll get a tax receipt for it, and you're going to help a pile of people to have a joyful Christmas. So get involved in your community, connect with RCRG, and volunteer in your community. Click on the link below to donate to the Richmond Christmas Fund and spread some joy. You know that there's one thing that's been said about volunteering, and that is the main reason people don't volunteer, the main reason people don't step up. It's not because people aren't generous. People are generous. We're wired for community. We're wired for generosity. But one thing that's required is for somebody to invite us to get involved. So the biggest reason people don't get involved is because nobody asked them. I'm asking you. We're asking you to get involved. Thank you so much for your generosity, and wishing you the best of the season.